Come to our situation, and particularly this year, the year is about to come. How many rakats we supposed to? We are not coming to the masjid. We are staying at home. How many rakats we supposed to say? So this is very specific situation, exceptional case. So in this case and in this situation, I would say, of course, my recommendation is 20. My recommendation is 20. Try to pray 20 at your home with your family, with the family, the husband, wife, children, all together. Come together inside of the home, in the home, one place, specify one place, a corner, a room where you all family, entire family are praying together, and then one of you should be an imam, like husband should be imam, or if you have the children who is mature enough, who is baligh, and he knows the reading the Quran, mashallah, you also can encourage him. This is the time we can bring these children. Always we talk about our upcoming generation, new generation, the youth. So we can bring them. And we can, if you can teach them a little masail and issues of prayer, this is the time you can also teach them the issues of the prayer, masail of the prayer. So if they are around 14, 15, or they are baligh after 12, they become normally baligh or mature. So you can also make them an imam. But before you make them imam, or you make them imam, you have to teach them some issues, the masail, how to lead the prayer. If they know, I would prefer them, for you, for the family, I would prefer them to lead the prayer. If they don't know, of course, head of the house, the husband or the father, he can lead the prayer. Now, how many rakats? So I would recommend, first of all, it is best, mashallah. It will be best and great if you pray 20 rakats. It will be great and best that you are following the consensus. Even in this situation, you are inside of the home, you cannot go outside, but still you follow that tradition. So you will have more reward. That is the best option. Now, if you cannot follow the 20 rakats, whatever you can pray. If you can pray 12, pray 12. You can pray 14, pray 14, 16, 16, 10, 10, 8, 8, 4, 4, 2, 2. Whatever you can, but that does not mean I am giving you the permission to pray, or I am allowing you to leave the 20 and just 2 or 4. No, that is not the case. Exceptionally, in this situation, in this case, at this time, you are not able to pray 20. That's why I'm saying, if someone pray whatever the minimum for them is, it's okay. It will be okay. But try. The recommendation is, the best way is the 20. The best way is 20. So there will not be any problem if someone is praying less than 20, not a problem. But recommendation is the 20. That is the number 2, issue number 2. Issue number 3, while we are praying at home, can we follow the imam who is praying in the masjid? And like you are following right now in Zoom, you are live. So can you follow me? I can lead the prayer, and you are behind me in your home, and you have the big screen in your home, and then behind me you can pray, follow me, I will recite the Quran. I would say no, this is not allowed. Majority scholar these days, even they are follower of the Salafi Mashayikh or any imams, majority of them, they all do not recommend, and they said no, this is not allowed, praying the prayer virtually, or the following any imam virtually, whether Tarawih, Jum'ah, Zuhar, any prayers, if it would be allowed. So why you need an imam in your local masjid? Why even you will need the masjid, an imam? You can follow in Haram Sharif, imam is always there. According to your own time, you can set up that an imam is leading there, and you can pray that. So this is not our tradition. It will be completely against the tradition, against the teaching of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and never happened that. So even in this case, in this situation, we cannot allow this, that you are following some imam virtually. No, it's not allowed. It's prohibited, it will be haram, and if someone is praying that, his or her prayer will be invalid. The prayer will not be counted. That's number 3. Number 4, that is the issue. If we are praying in our home, so how should, I'm not following the Imam, virtual Imam. I'm praying myself or with my family in a congregation. So how should I recite the Quran? This is the issue. How should I recite the Quran? Can I look at the Quran or not? So before I go in that discussion, keep in mind, Tarawih is Sunnah. Tarawih is Sunnah Mu'akkada Kifaya. Sunnah Mu'akkada Kifaya. Sunnah Mu'akkada Kifaya means it's according to Abu Hanifa, by the way. Other scholars, Imam Shafi and others, they say it's a mustahab. It's a recommended. And even within the Hanafi Mashayikh, some scholars says 12 rakat is Sunnah and the rest is mustahab. There is the debate. But you don't need to go in that debate. Just I'm giving you the summary. So Tarawih is according to Abu Hanifa, Sunnah Mu'akkada Kifaya. What does it mean? Kifaya means, meaning if it is prayed somewhere in the community, so it's sufficient for the entire community. But if no one is praying, then everyone will be sinner. Everyone will be sinner. This is the meaning of Sunnah Mu'akkada Kifaya. Okay, now, so since we know the ruling about the Tarawih is that Fard or Sunnah or Wajib or whatever, so I said it's Sunnah. Now reciting the Quran in Tarawih, what is that? Is that Fard? Is that Wajib? Is that Sunnah? Is that Mustahab? Is that Mabah? Is that Makruh? What is that? These all are the categories. I will talk about these categories some other session. So, and these all have the great meaning. So according to the ulama, or you can say Hanafi scholars, according to them, Tarawih is Sunnah and reciting Quran is the another Sunnah. Reciting Quran is another Sunnah. So 2 Sunnah you doing. One Sunnah is praying the prayer, Sunnah Tarawih, and another Sunnah is reciting the Quran. Another Sunnah is you are reciting the Quran. You are reciting the Quran in the Tarawih. So that is the Sunnah. And we know that in Ramadan, Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, say tradition, what was his tradition? He says, just a summary of the hadith, according to Sida Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, that Sidna Jibreel alayhi salam came to the Ramadan and he was just going through over the Quran, and Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam is listening. But before he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam passed away in that year, so he recited 2 times. And the narration is interesting. That is the part of the story, part of the narration. And that narration has the many more detail that I will mention to you some other time. But that is the summary. That before he passed away, he recited he reviewed the Quran with Jibreel 2 times. 2 khatam. 2 times meaning 2 khatam. 1 khatam and 2 khatam. So our scholars, they say 1 time is Sunnah. Even all these scholars, they say 1 time is Sunnah and more than 1 time is Afdal. It's a better. It's a good to do. If you do 2 khatam, 3 khatam, 4 khatams in Ramadan, mashallah, in your Tarawih, it is better, it's Afdal. But 1 is minimum. But it's not required again. 1 is minimum, it's not required. It's not essential. It's not wajib. It's not fard. It's not fard. So if someone is not finishing the entire Quran, even 1 time in the Tarawih prayer, it's okay. It's okay. But because it's a month of Ramadan, we look for the reward, more reward. So that's why, mashallah, we have the tradition, we have the masajid or the community center wherever the people come and we invite the huffaz. So Ramadan is the month of blessing. We try to gain more barakats as much as we can, which we should do, which is the good tradition, alhamdulillah. And this is the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gave us. But if somehow someone cannot finish this Quran, so it's okay for him or her. Now come to our situation. So now we know the ruling, it's not required, it's not fard. So whatever you memorized, you can read that by your own heart. Whatever you memorized, you can read it, because it's not required for you to do the khatam in the salah. It's not required for you to do the khatam. None of the scholars, none of the four madhab said it's a required. They all say it's a sunnah. So it's a sunnah. The minimum of that, although you are not, the one sunnah you are fulfilling, which is the Tarawih, you are praying the Tarawih according to your own situation. You are praying the 20 rakats or whatever rakats. And now you're praying like a normal prayer. You know some surahs from the Quran. For example, you know Ayat al-Kursi. In first rakah, you recited Ayat al-Kursi. In second rakah, you know the part of Surah Ar-Rahman. So you recited the Surah Ar-Rahman. Or end of the Surah Al-Baqarah. So you know all these things, and then you recited them. Or you, in third rakah, I was talking, the whatever rak'ah, whatever you can recite, Ayat al-Kursi, or Ar-Rahman, or Yasin, or whatever you memorize, or the last 20 surahs, last 40 surahs, short surahs, whatever you can recite by your own heart, preference is do that. Now, can we? So keep in mind, reading Quran or finishing Quran is sunnah, not required. Now our issue. Can I do khatam by reading, by looking in the Quran, holding the mushaf in our hand? Holding the mushaf in our hand. Can we do that and read by looking that? Keep in mind, it's not a required. It is not a required. Now the second point is, according to Imam Abu Hanifa, it's invalid. Whether you are praying the Tarawih, you're praying the Nafl, Sunnah, or further, or any prayer. So if you are holding the Mus'haf in your hand and you're reciting the Quran by looking at the Mus'haf, it's invalid according to Imam Azam Abu Hanifa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Your salah is invalid. Why? He gives two reasons. He gives number one, and he has this one da'if hadith in that respect. He has one da'if narration. Based on that da'if narration, he says no, it's invalid, and gives two another reason. So the reason is, he said, first of all, there will be an action, more action. You are holding the Quran, you are opening the Quran, and then you are turning the pages. You can argue this, that these days, if you have the iPad, you can set an iPad and the time, it will flip itself. You can argue that. But that's his reason. Number two, he says, this is a stronger reasoning from him. He says, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, it's like a talqeen. Talqeen means when I open the mushaf, then I will read from it. So it looks like I'm receiving the knowledge. I'm receiving the knowledge from Quran or from the mushaf. So mushaf becomes like a teacher. So I'm receiving a knowledge from you. While you are inside of salah, you cannot conduct any action of receiving or giving. Receiving and giving is absolutely prohibited according to Abu Hanifa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. That's why Imam Azam Abu Hanifa said, if you will open the mushaf, so you are learning from there. So it will not be allowed for you. And for Imam not only Abu Hanifa, in the history, there are other scholars, Taba'in, a group of Taba'in. Among them is Ibn Sirin and Hakam and Ata ibn Abi Rabah and other scholars. They all do not allow that pray the prayer or the Tarawih by looking at the Mus'haf or holding the Mus'haf in your hand. Yes, there are some scholars, they allow They allowed at that time. They allowed at that time. I will come to that one later. But Abu Hanifa and some Tabi'in, they do not allow. And there are Tabi'in like Imam Nakhai, Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, Imam Sha'bi. They say it's a makruh, it's undesirable. And likewise Imam Muhammad and Imam Abu Yusuf, students of Abu Hanifa. And before them, this group of scholars, Imam Nakhai, Imam Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, Imam Sha'bi, and others, they say it's a makruh, it's undesirable. It's a makruh, it's undesirable. We cannot look at the mushaf. So this is Abu Hanifa and group of Tabi'in. Tabi'in meaning students or disciples of Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala. They do not allow. And even Ibn Hazm Zahiri, one of the Zahiri scholar, Zahiri school, he says it's whoever does that, his salah will be batil, invalid. On the other hand, group of scholars such as Imam Shafi'i and Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, they allow that. They say yes, it's okay for them, for the person who does not know, who does not memorize, it's okay for them to, it's okay for them to hold the mushaf and read from the mushaf. Now, what is better if this situation, like you have the differences of opinion, Abu Hanifa and group of Tabi'i, they say it's not allowed. And Imam Shafi'i and a group of scholars, they say it's allowed. Keep in mind, while you are praying the prayer or the fasting ibadat, you have to be conservative. We accept the differences of opinion, mashallah. We are flexible. I myself is very much flexible and I take the issues from here and there, like from the ulama, the traditional scholars. But in ibadat, I am conservative. I myself, and I would recommend you to also to be a conservative in ibadat. In ibadat. Ibadat meaning in the prayer, in the fasting. In the prayer, I will give you another example. In the prayer and fasting. So what do I mean by being a conservative? I mean, if there are the scholars and they have the differences of opinion, some say do this, some say don't do that. What is better? What is better in this case? Of course, the better and the best option is to avoid the differences. They all, of course, agreed on without looking. A prayer without looking in the mushaf, into the mushaf, or without holding the mushaf, they all are agreed that. So isn't it better we will take the opinion where they all are agreed? So my recommendation would be, first of all, finishing the Quran or reading the entire Quran in the prayer that is not required. That is not required. It's only the sunnah. And for the other, it's a sunnah for Imam Abu Hanifa, and other mashayikhs are even more flexible. Some of them say it's just mustahab. Mustahab is the lower than the sunnah. So they just, it's the recommended.